This is Steve Ridgel, and Lulu's in here this morning with me. Now, you see Remy a lot on these videos because she comes in and just inserts herself, but Lulu wanted to be held this morning, and I got to thinking, Lulu is somewhere between 18 and 20 years old. We're not real sure. I'm going to put her down right now because she's a little restless. And she's old. She's lost about all of her teeth, and boy, she's got what we call, a lot of old little dogs get it, what we call death breath. And she's got little tumors all over the outside of her body that bother her, and she can't see well, can't hear well, can't jump and run like she used to. Mostly sits around and sleeps, and so you think it doesn't weigh much anymore, and so everybody's like, well, okay, you don't. How come you don't know exactly how old she is? That's because she was a rescue dog. My daughter actually rescued her, and then somehow my wife ended up with her, and we've had her for almost all those years now. And sometimes people say, "Why don't you just put her down? That'd be the humane, the kind thing to do." She doesn't seem to be in a lot of pain, and she still likes to be held and petted and look out the window, and she still seems to us has quality of life. But here's the deal: I think we just think she deserves to live as long as she can. Now, I want to tell you that's probably a reflection of our Christian conviction about life. And so when I look at Lulu and think, most people just put her down because she is a pain. She is. And she's way more trouble than she needs to be. But there's some dignity there because we think God created her. But see, here's the deal about Christians and life. We think God created everybody. We do. Every life has value. And I'm going to tell you that's reflected in things that society doesn't understand and doesn't agree with and doesn't like. But for Christians, we absolutely believe God is the author of life and that life matters. Every life matters. That's why we oppose racism. That's why we're opposed to nationalism. But also it translates like this. We Christians are the ones that see value in lives that have handicap, physical handicaps, mental handicaps, emotional handicaps. We Christians believe there's value in those lives. And so we care for them, and we see God, the work of God in their life. And we Christians take care of old people. Christians are the ones who don't shuttle their parents off to old folks' home and ignore them. Now, they may end up in a facility, but Christians care and we show up. And I can't tell you how many churches I know that go to retirement centers and old folks' homes and do worship services for them. We go out of our way. Christians really are the ultimate sandwich generation, taking care of our children and taking care of our parents because we value life. And so Christians are inherently opposed to, euthanasia. Now, that's not the same as I choose not to be recessive. Don't take extreme measures, all those things. I get all of that. And we Christians would even tell you that we know sometimes life and death decisions are hard, but you also need to understand this belief about life for Christians. That's why we'll always be against abortion on demand, the taking of life. We'll never support that. And I know there are a lot of situations, everybody can say, but what about, and you can trot out the old, the baby in the womb, and give all the scenarios. And we agree with that. We're in a fallen world. Of course decisions are hard. But we Christians absolutely believe that God gives life, and it is valuable. And so that's why you see Christians all over, foster parenting, adopting babies, supporting single moms, helping young families, supporting organizations that place infants with Christian families. Boy, the funniest thing I ever hear every once in a while somebody say, well, if you Christians are going to be against abortion, then you've got to take care of all the babies. And I'm like, hello, wake up, look around before you say stuff. I don't know anybody that does as much for babies as Christians. The church I'm in, and we're, 700-ish. I can't tell you how many adopted kids are in our fellowship. A lot of them, because we believe life matters. Old people, babies, handicapped people, even Lulu. So I'm telling you, I'm thankful for the God that gave me life, and He expects me to value that in others.